Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Trevor and Thomas here, as always. And today we are talking about the latest film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. This comes to us from director Sam Raimi, returning to the MCU after 15 years after
Yeah.
Spider-Man 3? Uh,
2007. So yeah.
yeah, 15 years. He did of course, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy, because that's his name.
Yes.
With Tobey Maguire, also well known for the Evil Dead franchise, Army of Darkness, and just generally anything with Bruce Campbell. Um, and yeah, it stars Benedict Cumberbatch, two-time Oscar nominee, Elizabeth Olsen, Emmy nominee, maybe even winner. Can't remember if she won. Uh,
Maybe.
no, for just nominee. For WandaVision.
Yeah.
But who else was in this? America Chavez was there. I couldn't be bothered to look up the actress because she's the most one-dimensional character in history. Um,
Yes.
and um, there were Benedict Wong was there. There's some other people that were there that we won't talk about yet, but
No.
we'll be talking about spoilers later. Um, but just general thoughts. Opening
Okay.
up
Yeah.
all
Opening
of
up, I think there are flashes of excellence in this movie. I do think there are a couple scenes here and there that are really, really good. Having said that, I think the film as a whole is a mess. It's a real mess. This film, and like I feel like a lot of the time I was laughing at it rather than with it, based on
yeah,
because it's a dumb film. It really is. I mean, certain elements they go down. Like if you shut your mind off, they can be a lot of fun. Like there are certain ways in which the plot progresses that you go, okay, that's really really stupid, but I'm sort of here for it. Having said that, it's trying to be a horror film, and it therefore fails because it wants you to take this film more seriously than you actually end up taking it, which is a problem. I do think all the performances are good. Doctor Strange, or Benedict Cumberbatch, of course, he is good in, well, I guess without spoiling, he's in the trailer. He's playing more than one version
yeah,
of the
yeah,
character, so and he's good at all of them. I mean, we'll speak about Moonlight in a different upcoming review.
yeah.
He's no Oscar Isaac when it comes to portraying different characters, but he is still quite good. And Elizabeth Olsen as well, whilst her character isn't written very well and she doesn't get the best material, she's quite good.
Yeah,
Yeah, like visually stunning. I mean,
yeah,
what do you expect? Sam Raimi. There are moments where Sam Raimi, his directorial style, is really imprinted on the film, and those are the moments that really are the ones that resonate with you. In terms of the whole connection to the wider universe, I think that is where the film falls the most flat. Like, it's
hmm,
trying to be very, very important. It's trying to do all these things. It's trying to introduce all these elements, and this is where it gets convoluted. And this is where it gets messy, and this is where it loses what it's trying to actually, what it was trying to be, or what it could be. And that is a very effective horror film starring Doctor Strange.
yeah.
Um,
It also
and
felt
that is
weirdly
where,
self-contained, like
yeah,
for how
yeah,
how vast it was trying to be. It somehow like felt like very much stuck within its own bubble and
yeah,
like almost losing a lot of its connections. Like I
yeah.
yeah,
And I will tell you, don't go into this film expecting too much because this
yeah,
film has been marketed in a way where you expect, oh, it's the next Avengers film, pretty much. It's like,
yeah,
it's the most important MCU film. It really, really isn't. Like,
yeah,
just watch your expectations going in because you may be disappointed if you are expecting cameo after cameo after cameo because they are there. Like, there are a couple nice cameos, but that's not really where the film is at its
yeah.
strongest. They are not the most important elements here.
Yeah, and like even just overall, like as far as like impact upon the MCU, I feel like it's little to none.
Mm,
Like I don't know. This was one of the first times sitting in a theater watching an MCU film where I like just fully mind numbed at multiple points and shut my brain off, and it didn't matter. Like I
no.
just could. I completely concur with laughing at the movie. Some of the
Yeah.
editing choices, especially with like like
Yeah.
cutting to they did it 2 or 3 times with Benedict Wong's character Wong.
Yeah, where it's just his face comes up and it's like it's a really close up zoom and then it
Yeah,
just
and
zooms
then
and
he
then it
just
goes
says
to it
like,
and it's
"They
like,
got
oh,
us," or
okay.
something like that. Like
Yeah,
just like the dumbest like reaction
yeah. The
shot.
transitions are just, ooh, they're not good. They're not good.
Yeah, just so messily edited. There's a sequence early on where Doctor Strange is like trying to contain something with magic, and then he's like, he's grimacing. He's like, "Oh, I don't know if I can get it," and then he says, "I don't think I can hold it anymore." Like a tight close up of his face, and then it cuts away.
Hmm.
Like, yeah, obviously, we can see Benedict Cumberbatch isn't an awful actor. We can see that he's struggling to hold. You didn't like. It just
Yeah.
felt like so much. I don't know. It felt like this film didn't trust its audience. Like we're gonna do a bunch of multiverse stuff, but we have to like dumb it down and make sure that our audience like explicitly understands every single thing that we're doing.
Hmm.
Which like is it the most fair comparison? No, but Everything Everywhere All at Once did just come out, and it's written so smartly, and it doesn't over explain anything. It gives you just enough information so that way you understand what's going on while still feeling like intrigued the entire time. Whereas this film just like it felt like it was like force feeding us the entire time.
Yeah.
Like having the little airplane on with the spoon,
Yeah.
like, all right, this is what this is like.
Yeah, there was one scene in particular which is spoilerific, so we won't talk about it now. But just the exposition and the writing was just
Yeah,
awful, like really bad. Like it made me laugh out loud, genuinely, how bad that scene was written. Also, like I just want to touch on because I forgot. I don't blame the actor of America Chavez.
I don't know.
Um,
I thought that she
like,
showed a lot of promise. I just wish
yeah,
that
I think she
she
was
was
like
too.
okay. I don't know if she was brilliant, but I mean, she's younger than me, so I just looked up. So like, what do you expect? I don't expect her to be the world's greatest actor, but her character is shockingly just badly written.
Yeah, yeah, and like it sucks because like she's a great character in the comics. Like she does like Young Avengers stuff. I
Mm,
mean, like I'm not like the most familiar with the comics, but I have like a working understanding of like the comic book universe, and like she's a very very fun character. Who like has and we see glimpses of like potentially dealing with like the trauma
mm,
of a couple of her actions, but they just like aren't there, and it felt like she has a character arc throughout this that feels so unearned by the time we get to the end of it.
yeah,
Um, because like there was just nothing there aside from like one scene where we see a memory of
yeah.
hers. I don't
Yeah,
think
she
that,
gets very limited screen time, which is a
yeah,
problem when like she is maybe the most important
she
character in
might
this
be the
film.
most important character and is like supposed to be like at the core of this film. But I think that's a problem. This film is trying to have too many cores. Like you
Mm,
have like Doctor Strange, who's like dealing with like some trauma, like post in Infinity War and Endgame, and he's trying to work through stuff. And then you have America Chavez, this new character who's I guess just like one of the most important and powerful characters in the MCU now,
yeah,
who's like drastically underwritten, and then Wanda, who's just kind of there at the start and the end,
yeah,
and doesn't do that much. And also, we'll get into it with spoilers, but like, I don't even think that anybody else needed to be there. Like, I feel like the entire plot of this film could have been resolved in like a 5 minute short film focusing around Wanda and
yeah.
Doctor Strange and America Chavez and like Wong and all their involvement felt kind of meaningless.
Mm.
Um, which is a problem if it's a Doctor Strange
It's
movie.
a Doctor
Like,
Strange film. Yeah,
you've seen America stuff. Like, I don't know, and like I agree, there are some great moments in this. Not only with like Sam Raimi's like directing, he has such a strong visual style. All of there's so many like like dolly pushes like costumes, and then like I love Sam Raimi's cinematography style. Like it's really fun. There are some great dream sequences with some great great color work. Um, like there's a lot of really good stuff in the visuals. Sometimes
yeah.
there are some other fight sequences where the visual effects don't look great.
No, there's one in particular. Yeah, which
Yeah,
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 it does make me question whether this will even, and I know we'll talk about because later visual effects on. will it even get it? I'm not too sure after watching it.
Especially after the mixed response, I think is going to be
Yeah,
one of the biggest things because like this isn't doing the best critically.
no,
Um, but yeah, I mean, there's not as much that we can get into, but like I just think that the strongest elements of this are the performances from Benedict Cumberbatch and Elizabeth Olsen.
yeah,
Sam Raimi's direction when he's actually allowed to direct.
yeah,
Um, but like the writing is just it's so weak. Not only the dialogue but the narrative.
yeah,
It's so weak. There are sometimes where like like characters will like you think they're gone but then they came back or it's just like yeah obviously
yeah.
like just the obviously, um, but like yeah I mean I I don't know. This was a very big disappointment. And like, are there great moments? Yeah, like especially like there are some really really fun cameos that were really cool to
Mm,
see. Um, but like it felt I don't know. I feel like Marvel is great at constructing moments, but not necessarily cohesive films, like getting those moments to be cut together in a way that makes a complete film with full fleshed out characters,
mm,
um, which is a problem. I rewatched Spider-Man No Way Home recently and had a similar sentiment. I definitely like No Way Home more than this, but No Way Home to me, like I think it's a bit more tightly written. There are actually
yeah.
like some decent character development throughout, but at points it did just feel like a bunch of fun moments strung together in no real cohesive way other than to just see these fun moments. So yeah, I don't know. I we can get into Oscar talk and then this will be timestamped, so we can get to Oscar talk right now, and then we can talk about spoilers briefly
Yeah, cool.
afterwards, and post credit scenes, etc. But these Oscars, and
Mm,
our rating. I guess we
yeah,
can
yeah.
give our rating after our thoughts. What are you feeling for a rating?
Probably 6 out of 10. Yeah, I'd say there is enough in this film that made it overall, not a negative experience, but I think there is enough detracting from it to make it to put it around that 6 out of 10. So mixed, pretty much is what I'd use.
Yeah, I'm probably at a 5. Like I wouldn't complain about seeing this movie again,
Mm.
because like, is it like really stupid fun that I can turn my brain off to and put on the movie in the background while I'm like editing something? Yeah, but like I have no intention of like actively like putting effort into watching this
Mm.
movie.
Yeah,
Again, like it's a very meh film. I think it's definitely worse than the first Doctor Strange. Um,
I wouldn't. I think no, I wouldn't agree with that. I think the
really,
first Doctor Strange was just so basic and just mediocre that I definitely would say I preferred this one. I think it was doing more
I
interesting stuff here. It was more ambitious this one than Doctor Strange one was just probably the least ambitious MCU film, I'd say.
I don't know. Doctor Strange has grown on me when I rewatched it. Initially, I agreed, and I still don't think it's great. Like Doctor Strange is still probably like a 6 out of 10 for me. But like I think it at least has coherent character development, even if that character development is really weak,
Hmm.
and like it isn't the most well written. It's at least there. Whereas this film felt way more focused on like spectacle than like actually caring about its characters. But
Hmm.
overall, I think that this franchise as a whole is one of the weakest MCU franchises, if not the weakest.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
so I don't know if we'll see a Doctor Strange 3. I don't really
Hmm.
care if we see one
No.
at this
I
point.
mean, if it makes money, we probably will. If it
Yeah,
doesn't, we probably won't. And that's how it works. And I'm totally fine either way, to be honest.
yeah, for sure. And what's our next MCU? Thor, Love and Thunder.
Yeah, for Love and Thunder. So, yeah.
But yeah, let's get into Oscars talk. There are some people on different Oscars Reddit saying that Elizabeth Olsen's going to get nominated, and no. Uh,
Yeah,
uh,
okay. No, no.
I like. people, I know we had this at number 2, I think, for VFX.
Yeah, I'd push it
Um,
down there.
yeah, because they weren't that strong. There are
No.
some sequences where it's like very like astral looking. It's like, we see them in like the trailer, where it's like this like galaxy thing, and then there's like rocks in the middle. It's like, it's just, I don't know. It looks vaguely from like similar to all the other multiverse stuff that we've seen from like Loki and
Yeah.
um, Spider-Man and everything. Um, and like it looks fine, but like
Mm.
one of my biggest problems with the VFX is they looked good, like they were well constructed and well detailed, but they always looked like out of place, and the movie always looked like just a bit too glossy.
Mm.
Like it looked like too like they did like too much like touching up with it, that it like just did not look believable, if that makes sense. And there are also a couple
Yeah.
monsters that are
Yeah,
introduced
that was
later in
my
the
the one
film
scene which
that
it's
feel
in the trailers and
out of
it's
place.
in a Lego set when they're battling it's called the Gargantuan.
Yeah.
And that monster does not look good. Like if you
Yeah.
go and see the film, that monster, it looks very, very
There are
out of place.
also a couple of monsters that Wanda does stuff with,
Yes.
that I think
Yeah,
also
they look dodgy.
don't look good. It
Yeah.
reminded me of the monster from Ghostbusters Afterlife, which I think
Okay.
looks really bad. Um, and you still haven't seen that yet, right?
No, I
No.
don't plan on, to be honest.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I would. But yeah, it like, and there are some sequences where it looks good. Like there's a sequence where they are flung through the multiverse.
Yeah, exactly. If they're gonna like, I don't. If visual effects one of those ones where they just send in a clip and then is that it
Yes.
or is
Yeah,
yeah?
that's
So
what
they
that's
can
what
just
it's called.
send. The problem is they can just send in a clip like that and then get the nom. So like,
Yeah.
and without
I
having to
still
look at
think
the
this
whole film
gets
in general.
nommed, but I don't
Yeah,
think people are saying this could be like, an early contender to Avatar, which I don't know if you saw the trailer
I
for that
did.
in the
Yeah,
theater. Yeah. And we'll talk about it more on Oscar Buzz, but I think that the trailer for Avatar visually
yeah,
looked way
yeah.
stronger than this. Um so yeah, I still think it picks up a VFX nom, but what people are saying as far as like, this sound, makeup, and hair,
No,
like
no.
I don't think sound's happening. The sound was very flat. Um,
Yeah,
Makeup and hair, if it's really weak, like,
yeah. If it's really weak, it could. Yeah,
but overall,
but
like, I don't know where else this could get in. Like, if, I mean, yes, Cumberbatch and Olsen are playing multiple different versions of their character, and they are good. Um, but like they aren't getting anywhere close to it. Like
no,
all
they're
of the
really,
top
really
15
not.
would have to bomb for Elizabeth Olsen to like get a nomination.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm really not feeling it.
No, no, neither am I.
I think as
I'd put it in for visual effects, but nothing else.
yeah, and I don't even think it's the number 2 anymore.
No, no, probably not.
Okay. Do we want to get into spoilers?
Yes, yes, yeah.
Okay.
That's quite a lot of discussing, but
Um, yeah, 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 yeah. Uh, I'll let you lead. Spoiler thoughts.
okay. So first thing that really rubbed me the wrong way, and I thought I need to talk about it before I forget about it, is the supposed representation that is in this film. Because there is one scene with America Chavez and her mums. That's cool. However, I just watched that scene and I was like, that's so easily edited out. Like, if they want to pass us off
Yep.
to China to another country,
Yeah.
that's just a
Yeah.
completely sin. You can just cut that out so easily, no impact on the plot, and that just felt cheap. That just made me go, that's not good. Like I don't want to see that, to be honest.
It's
Like if
Disney.
you're
It's
gonna do it,
Disney.
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
And like,
I looked at it and yeah, it just made me go, that is cheap, that is hollow, that is pandering. Like yeah.
oh yeah, no, and I 100% agree. It's Disney. Like they've done this so many times. Like they'll
Yeah.
do, they'll like, be like, oh, look at us, we're incorporating LGBTQ representation.
Mm.
Which is like, just do it though. Like
Yeah.
Like just
Yeah.
don't make it like like yeah, an inconsequential scene that can
Mm.
easily be cut out so that way you can ship it around the world and so that way you can still make money everywhere and people will
Yeah.
still like enjoy them. Like it's just it's so it's turning again it's using like the the existence of people as a way to gain attention for yourselves and make more money.
Yeah, which is not good. Another thing, they're going for some sort of mental health theme here. I think it's
Yeah.
very unsubtle with them constantly just asking every so often, "Oh, are you happy?"
Are you
And
happy?
like,
And it's
that's
also
theming.
so
Is that
weirdly
theming? Is that theming? That's not theming.
it's also so weirdly underdeveloped. Like again, and this is what I'm talking about with like the cooks in the kitchen, like too many cooks in the
Mm,
kitchen. Like if you're gonna focus on Doctor Strange and trauma, then focus on
mm,
Doctor Strange's trauma. Don't just
yeah,
be like, yeah, don't just occasionally ask, "Are you happy?" Like at the
yeah,
start of the movie and then at the end of the movie. Like
mm,
that isn't a theme. That's called like it
yeah. That
felt
is just
so underdeveloped and
yeah, and
like you were
just
saying, like
awkward when it showed up. Yeah,
yeah, it felt just so weak. I
yeah,
mean, and like, I like, yeah, like we were saying, America Chavez is basically a non-existent character. She is solely there to move the plot forward.
mm,
Like,
yeah.
her character exists as a plot device and not a character.
Yeah. Another thing that rubbed me the wrong way is this universe of Steven is still pining over Christina
Yeah,
or Christine, even though the first scene is her getting married. That was like, no, no. Like, can we stop this? Like, she's married now. She's moved on
yeah,
clearly. Stop pining for her. Move on.
yeah.
So that was just another thing that rubbed me the wrong way. Let's talk about the cameos
Let's talk
because,
about the cameos.
like,
So,
I quite liked the way they were handled. The problem is, I don't think they should have been in the trailers because the trailers then therefore set it up as if they're showing Patrick Stewart in the trailer, what are they going to bring in the film, in the actual film
mhm,
itself? And like Patrick Stewart's probably the biggest reveal in the film,
yeah.
so why would you put that in the marketing?
I mean, I think
Having
John
said that,
Krasinski as well as a fairly big reveal as Mr.
yeah,
Fantastic.
yeah, they did save
And
him,
then
but yeah,
Haley
I'd
Atwell is
probably I'd
fun.
say I'd say Patrick Stewart is still probably the
Yeah,
biggest
I
though.
mean, and
Um,
it's fun. Like they do the X-Men theme, like from the
yeah,
'90s
yeah,
show. Like it's fun. I mean, also just like from it's not as big of a thing, but Black Bolt, cool to see in the MCU.
yeah.
Is a very fun character. And they brought back the actor from the horrendous Inhumans TV show. Give him a second chance. Um, which was fun. But okay. So again, this is what I'm talking about. Great moment. Didn't
Mm.
need to be there.
No,
Like
it didn't.
that
But
that
yeah,
exists solely to get a applause moment.
yeah. I did think it was fun though how they were brought in and then they were all killed off. Like that's cool.
Yeah,
Like it was a fun little moment. It was a fun little detour away from the main plot. However, was it a necessary one? No. Was it a fun one? Yeah, sure. Like I
yeah.
I didn't mind how the cameos are handled. I just don't think they should have been like
But
revealed because
the other
then
thing
you
with
went into it thinking, oh, these are going to be the big cameos. They're not, and that's fine. Like I didn't want them to be.
and the other thing with that is if you're just gonna do like like fan service pandering cameos, then just make the whole movie that. Like don't just like do one and then because then again you're not committing to like just commit to something. I
Hmm.
mean, and again, this movie feels like it's not committing to anything, and we'll talk about Wanda in a second. But like the if you want to make a movie with like fan service pandering cameos, just make that movie. Don't like just be like
Yeah.
okay, but we'll do a couple, but then we'll move on because we don't want to be like too like it just felt like it just kind of did half of a lot of things and never actually
Hmm.
completed anything. Um,
Yeah.
but like yeah, were they fun?
Yeah.
Did I clap a little bit when the X-Men music started playing? Yeah,
Hmm.
but like I that doesn't need to exist. Like it just felt like it was just kind of like covering up how weak the plot was by just like
Hmm.
Professor X, have fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, killing them off was pretty fun.
Yeah.
And like yeah, I just like I mean talking about the ending briefly, talking about really weak character development. Doctor Strange not not taking America Chavez power and how giving her like the
Hmm.
you take this moment. It first of all, it felt so unearned for America Chavez, and
Yeah.
also it was so predictable. Like
So forced, yeah.
so forced. As soon as Doctor Strange showed up, it was like, oh, okay, this is what's going to happen because
Yeah, yeah.
they set it up a couple times. Like, I mean, I
Mm.
don't know. Zombie Doctor Strange was kind of fun. Like that's where
Yeah,
it
I
took
thought
like
that was because
zombie.
like I'd forgotten about him. So when
Yeah,
that was like clearly where they were going with it, I thought that's a fun way to take the plot.
yeah. I don't
Yeah,
know
and
why he
there were
decomposed that
that was
fast,
one of the scenes where I was
but
like, that's cool. Yes, yeah, that's true.
yeah.
But like the musical fight sequence, I thought that was really
Oh,
fun and interesting.
yeah. Also,
Um,
Danny Elfman's score in general is great. Like
yes,
Danny Elfman,
except I noticed in the credit he wrote the ice cream song as well, which was which got a laugh out of our theatre when the children are singing about ice cream to Wanda,
yeah.
which I don't know if it was meant to get a laugh, but it definitely did in our theatre.
Hey, yo, best original song. He's coming for it.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, but no, I thought overall his score was pretty good.
yeah, yeah.
It was really strong. I loved all the incorporations of like an electric guitar and stuff. Like it felt like a very unique MCU score,
Mm, yeah,
which was fun. Okay, but Wanda,
yes.
she either didn't need to be there or it should have been entirely about her.
Yeah, because the problem is, like, I feel bad for people who has been told that you don't really need to watch these Disney Plus shows. Like they're companion pieces.
Yeah,
Like they're not. You can't watch this film without having watched WandaVision because, like, just immediately about 3 minutes into meeting Wanda, she's evil again. Like that's fine. She was set up in WandaVision. Cool. If you're gonna do that, cool. But like, you can't go into this film without having seen WandaVision, and that does mean like they were lying to us. Like the shows are incredibly impactful on the
yeah.
movies.
I mean, the
Which
kids
yeah,
scene there, like
yeah,
it, so. I mean, speaking of WandaVision, though, because again, I don't feel like they committed to it that much. Why was White Vision not there? Like,
no, yeah,
if he now has all of Vision's memories, would he not have shown up at the end?
mm, yeah,
Like,
probably.
he would have known what Wanda was doing. Like, again, it felt like we'll like do a little bit of Disney Plus stuff, but not all of it. Which
Mm,
again also makes sense with Sam Raimi being like, "What's WandaVision?"
yeah,
Because like you think like I don't know, all the Wanda stuff felt very studio
yeah,
forced.
yeah.
Um,
Like I like the reveal of her being evil.
yeah,
I thought that was done well, where she noticed herself that actually, okay, the game's up. I've been a bad liar. Like that was quite fun, and but like the actual fact, the reason it was there just felt needless.
also okay. So I would need to see it again to actually confirm this. But you know what people will say about Raiders of the Lost Ark, which I disagree with. But like that it wouldn't matter that Indiana Jones was
Oh
there
yeah,
because
yeah.
Nazi
People
still would
do
have
say that. Yeah.
yeah, because Nazi still would have opened it up and it would have melted their faces and everything. Okay. And I think there is a couple things along the way that Indiana because they just would have found half of it, like they would have just kept digging
Mm.
in the desert. But like
Yeah,
regardless,
exactly.
I feel
Yeah.
like something like that could be applied here because unless I'm mistaken, I think that regardless of what Doctor Strange and America Chavez did, Wanda still would have opened up the portal, went into the other universe. Her kids would have been scared of her, and then she would have realized, oh, maybe I shouldn't do this, and then like realize the wrong of her ways and then leave. And I don't think any of that would have changed without Doctor Strange and America Chavez being there.
Yeah, I guess maybe she wouldn't have been like as evil going into like that's the only explanation I can come up with.
Yeah,
Like, I
but
guess
then
she wouldn't be as monstrous going in to see her kids. She because like, I mean, before in the movie she just been killing people, and therefore she's going to meet her kids. She's still in that sort of state of mind. I guess she would be
I
more
guess,
relaxed. Like,
but even along that line, you could still cut out like an hour of this movie and
yeah,
make it like a WandaVision special,
mm, yeah,
like
you could,
an hour long WandaVision special, because like this like I don't know, like Doctor Strange just felt like so like again, if you're gonna focus on Wanda, focus on Wanda. If you're gonna focus on Doctor Strange, focus on Doctor Strange. Don't try to juggle both, because
no,
then everybody in America Chavez, everybody just comes across feeling
yeah.
incomplete.
Yeah.
Um,
Another character that felt incomplete was Mordo. Like we've been waiting what 6 years to see the
Trevor,
character show up,
up at
and
the end,
like
yeah, yeah,
okay, he's basically non-existent. His
yeah.
the end of his character is he gets stuck in like a trench and can't get out. Cool.
Which is so
That's
weird how he was just like left it like
yeah.
it's just like, and then we just forgot about him. Like I don't know.
Mm.
It's this movie's just so lazy. And again, that's another example of just incredibly lazy writing.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I don't know. I would have loved to see Sam Raimi's like hard R, like no
yeah.
Wanda in this like hard R Doctor Strange dealing with trauma multiverse movie.
I'd
I
like to
think,
have seen both films this is trying to go for. I'd like to have seen, Wanda trying to
yeah,
go to a multiverse and
agreed.
that whole stuff. And I'd like to see a Doctor Strange horror movie. I don't want to see them together though.
Yep. This should have been two separate films or like two separate Disney Plus, like or like like I said, a Wanda Disney Plus special, and then a Doctor
Hmm.
Strange like hard R horror film.
Yeah.
I Both of those would have been better than whatever this was that we got. So I would say I don't know. It feels like I'm more mixed negative and you're more mixed positive.
Yeah, because
So
as I say, it's perfectly watchable. I mean, like Eternals was a different thing, but I don't think Marvel
because it's
make
tough.
many unwatchable. Yeah, yeah. I don't think Marvel make many unwatchable films because they are almost too big to make films that are unwatchable. So, and there are elements I did enjoy. As I said, I did like both plots. I do think like progressing these characters in this way is a good idea. I would like to see an exploration of Doctor Strange's drama. I do think the way
Yep.
Wanda's character, directing character, Wanda character's going, is a good one. But like, they're too quick, they're too rushed, it's too messy. It's yeah,
Yeah, I mean, in like I like the general direction of Wanda, but it also feels like they just have no clue what to do with her as a character. Like,
yeah. I guess so.
just it feels like they're just kind like she's just lost, and now we're kind of like repeating story beats with Wanda. Like, I don't know, like I don't know where they take her from here. That feels
I
like
don't know.
natural and not forced. Like, she just walks back to like an Avengers camp, but okay, guys, I'm good now. Like, I don't know. I don't know where they take this character. And we can talk about post credit scenes briefly. Charlize Theron's in the MCU now, and I'm not complaining about that.
Mm, yeah,
As Clea, she's a powerful sorceress. I love the costuming on her. Doctor Strange has a third eye now, which like whatever. I
yeah.
don't like. Sure.
No.
I think in the comics that's the Eye of Agamotto is like the thing.
Okay.
So now he has like another Eye of Agamotto, but it's like
Yeah, he's
a
got
different
four eyes.
eye. And yeah, so Clea's here, and they're gonna go fix the multiverse, which is what this was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Um, and like I don't know, I just the multiverse I feel like is just creating really lazy writing in the MCU, where you can just
Mm,
like you now have a backdoor like way to just excuse anything,
yeah. Yeah,
which
and it's got too big. Like, oh, okay, something's
it
gone
felt
wrong.
it felt so tiny as far as the
Yeah,
scope of it. Like, and again,
yeah,
I hate to compare them, but everything everywhere all at once feels so vast. Each universe is
yeah.
really fun. It's really different. It has its own distinct style. So like they're shot in the styles of different filmmakers. Like there's a Wong Kar Wai like universe. Like there's
Mm,
like I mean they're just and it's so big they go to like 20, 30 universes like
yeah,
in split seconds, and they're all very fun designs. And then these
yeah,
are just like they go to two different very boring
yeah.
universes.
But what I mean by it being too big is that, like, now if anything ever goes wrong, they can just go, oh, we'll
Yeah.
just get someone from a different multiverse. They'll come fix it. And like,
Oh yeah.
no,
Do we
no.
do we think? Speaking of that, just lastly, do we think that we see John Krasinski and Patrick Stewart return at all?
I doubt we'll see Patrick Stewart return. And by the way, from earlier, I mentioned an exposition scene. It was what I was when I was talking about with Patrick Stewart when it was all white and like he just
Yeah.
starts speaking to one day and he just starts spewing exposition at her.
Yeah.
That felt really dodgy. But anyway, Patrick Stewart, I doubt we'll see him again. Like I don't really want to see him again either. He's played the role for what since 2000, so
I'm
I don't
maintaining
want to see him again.
it should be. I mean, well, before I was saying Will Smith, I doubt they'll do that anymore. But like Denzel Washington, should be our Magneto. And then initially I was saying Will Smith, but like I don't know. I feel like it should be black actors to play Professor X and
Yeah, sure,
Magneto.
I'd be
Um,
perfectly happy with
Will,
that. John Krasinski, I think. I mean, maybe this either could just be like, oh, because everyone wants to see John Krasinski
yeah,
playing.
yeah,
So this could just be, oh, like John Krasinski's going, I don't really want to play him, but I'll play him this once for like 5 minutes. Like
5 minutes.
then,
Yeah.
yeah, tick it off. So maybe he'll come back, but I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. 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 I mean, and I know Emily Blunt has said that she doesn't like superhero movies and doesn't want to do them.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
like,
That's what makes you think it is a bit more of okay, fan casting for this
will
one
appease
movie.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah. Because, like, especially since they mentioned, like, Sue exists, but then we didn't see Sue. Like,
yeah,
I mean, yeah. I don't know. I think it makes sense. But I think that's it. I think those are our overall
yeah.
thoughts. I'm leaning more mixed negative. Thomas is leaning more mixed positive. One of our longer reviews, still not as long as the Batman, but we're getting up
No,
there.
yeah.
But Thomas, uh, until next time, where can everybody find you?
You can find me at Letterbox at Thomas Gladstone and on the YouTube channel Project Mayhem, where maybe June, maybe July, you might see some stuff there.
Nice, nice, nice. You can find me Twitter at Team Talks Movies, Letterboxd at Trevor Matson, on the Banana Meter, and the Basement with my co-host Mark Anopic. We are returning this weekend, which is very, very exciting. I'm very excited to get back to it. Also, I'll share the channel when I get to it, but I might also try to start doing video essay stuff on a separate channel. It won't be that much, probably be like a monthly thing, but over the summer I'll have more time, so well, why not? That might be a thing that happens. Like I said, I'll share the channel if that becomes a thing. But
Yeah.
until next time, thank you for watching. Stay safe, everybody. Goodbye.